Hey, good morning. Welcome to the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. It's been a while since I've been on. Sorry about that. I might be off a little next week as well, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. Anyway, hey, good morning. Welcome to the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. I hope you're doing well today. I want to talk about peeling epics. And you're like, what do you mean peeling epics, Greg? Well, some issues I've had with some how people manage their backlog, their story account, and the optics that help them look better or make them feel better about what they're doing. And some say, oh, that's minor optics. But I'm saying after 35 years plus, and my birthday was yesterday, by the way, and I'm going to put up some more train videos from the other day. I put them on my personal one, but I'll put some on LinkedIn as well. But sometimes optics play a really important role, not only for the psyche of the team, but for the psyche of your stakeholders and what they're thinking. And it really doesn't take a little bit of much effort to do it. And it could add some value to their mental well-being, right? So I'm going to talk about peeling away epics and how to do it, and couple techniques that you can use to help make it look like you're really progressing, because you are. To be honest with you, you're progressing. You just say, well, it's not like officially. We'll talk about that. So because this is the 5 a.m. Master Scrum Show, where we talk about agile Scrum in a very practical and tactical discussion today, and how to bring more value to our customer, not work crazy hours to get that value to the customer, and have a little fun along the way. And I do have my whiteboard today, so we're going to talk whiteboard. So yes, it was my birthday yesterday. Woohoo, I'm getting older. Yeah. But I wanted to talk about peeling away the epic, because there's ways to do a visual representation, optics, how you're doing as a team. Maybe you have a long project, it's going to take a little while. But what in the agile world, we want to release stuff out, and that's why I'm going to do the train things later. That'll be another story. Have a little fun tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a train show tomorrow, because tomorrow's Fun Friday. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do the show from my basement where I have the train layout, and we can talk about that during tomorrow's Fun Friday. But today, peeling away epics, so it makes it more pleasing, more energetic to the team on how things are progressing. So let's say you have this large epic, maybe a whole website, right? Maybe the epic's a whole website, a whole page, whole bunch of functionality. And if you were to wait to the last minute to release the whole tiny epic, the whole feature, the big item to your customers for using and playing it, or using the product, you would be doing a disservice to your customer and yourselves, because you want feedback loops. You want to know how you're doing along the way. Now, what some people will do is create this one epic in the backlog, and it's this big epic, and have all these pieces to it, and they'll leave the original epic there. And I'm going to talk to you. I got my pen, got my whiteboard here, so we're going to do a little whiteboard action. What that looks like, what the visual cue in that look like. So let's say we have this epic, and I'll be honest with you, as you find stuff, there we go. Move up here a little bit. As we find stuff as we go, we're going to learn about stuff that happens, right? And it's going to expand. I have to watch out here because I got the microphone way over here, and I'm moving away so you can see the whiteboard. But I got to move the microphone closer. There we go. Hopefully that works. I'll just speak up louder. Anyway, so you have this epic, and it's this big epic, right? And then you don't know how long it's going to take to finish stuff. A lot of times, this is like new scope, or maybe something you forgot, and that always happens, because there's always stuff out there. Let me see that. Now you got a new scope, because there's always stuff out there that wasn't there before, or you just don't use it very often. You just forget, we forgot about that extreme use case, that edge case that we forgot about, right? So if I had the start date, so I got to start, and then there's the end, And I'll put a big question mark because God knows when the end is. But however, we release stuff as we go. The end is always going because we're putting stuff out that we can get value from our customers, which is really key in Agile, right? So here's what some people do. 2 avenues. One, I have this giant epic, and let's say I get this part done, and there's another part that's the other way, and then there's another part that's like that, right? And this is my start date of my epic. And what they're going to do in the system, I'm going to take this part, I'm going to release it, right? But I'm going to keep the original start date of the epic, original epic. Right? I'm going to keep the start date. My end date keeps going. It's still out there, right? It's still, I have this old start date. Maybe this is 2 weeks. This is another 4 weeks. This is 6 weeks. This is 8 weeks. So it's like 8 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4 sprints, right? And I'm going to take that. Well, my time for my original epic is this long, right? Or this all the way out there, right? But maybe what I do, and then this little part has a start date of the original epic date and an end date for the release, right? Right? That's the release date. So that's this one, right? That's this piece here. Start date, original epic. What I'm going to offer, rather than keeping this epic surviving, write a new epic. Peel away the entire epic. This becomes epic 1, right? And then we have a new epic that starts at sprint 2. We have a new epic that starts at sprint 2. Okay. Now the new start date for a new epic is here. And I hope you can hear me there. So your new start date, I know in podcast world, you can't see it. So basically what I did, and this is empty. This is empty, nothing, right? This is week 1. So we got a new start date, new end date for whenever you do the release. Whenever that next release is the end date. And you keep doing it. Right? And then this piece becomes a new epic. Epic 3. And it has, what's this one? And it has this square here. Right? With a new date. And release date. Now, why do I do that? One, if you do a hierarchy system, all this can fit on a higher level chart anyway, right? However, if you maintain the original epic start date and this new epic that you got new, because here's what's going to happen. There's always going to be something new added to this epic. There's always going to be something new that wasn't there before. By changing the way we peel it off, rather than just keep the original epic, the original name, original thing in the system, original everything, original start date, and we go and create a new epic. Clone it if you like, right? Clone the old epic, create a new epic, delete all the stuff that wasn't a part of the original epic's release, right? The stuff that's in the new future epic. Get all that stuff out of there. And what this does is it gives you a better idea of when you're releasing product, your rate of release of product to the customer, right? From an epic perspective that maybe have lots of stories in it, different aspects, different functionality, different capabilities, different functionality that you had to release in order to release that piece of information, that story, or those couple of stories for that original epic. How does this help you? It gives you better optics. Because now, instead of saying, if you looked at this chart, If I kept this thing and I did this release, the start date would actually be the original start date Epic. So now it looks like, oh, it took for this Epic to go, it's now 2 sprints, 4 weeks to get it out versus 1 week to get an Epic out, right? And then if I release this part, now with the new start date, it's going to be 1 sprint as well. It looks better. It's better optics. It's not like stuff's getting stale. It's getting into the customer's hands by leaving the original Epic, because this is what I've seen. This is kind of what triggered me. I was looking at Epic. It had a lot of stories, a lot of stuff in it. And I was looking at how old it was. I said, oh my God, this Epic started last year. Why is it still around? Why it's still around is people kept adding new functionality as they use the product, as they experiment with it. Go, it'd really be nice to have this, this, and this. It would be really nice to see this piece of information on the screen. The Epic transforms itself into a new Epic. But what's going on is the original Epic date was from like last year, but all the new work that's currently been worked on wasn't created until a couple months ago, right? So they're maintaining an old Epic start date. They're just putting in new capabilities, new stories into underneath the same Epic within the past couple months or something like that, or whenever they did it. But it wasn't, all this work wasn't created when the original Epic was created. Therefore, they're artificially making this Epic look like it took forever to get out, when in reality, the optics, it really didn't, because we've been releasing pieces of the product as we went. So the customer and our stakeholders are getting value from that activity. And we're getting value because we're getting feedback loops, right? So rather than maintaining that super long Epic start date from the original start date the Epic was created, and include all the variations and new little capabilities and new little things or a feature, that we want to put in there in that original Epic, therefore maintaining an Epic from the old start date from like last year to now. And when all the stuff we're currently working on is just from the past couple sprints. Don't carry that long baggage, that long tail for that Epic. Kill it. Create a new Epic. Put the new stuff in a new Epic with a new start date. Close out the old Epic. And you may say, why do all this, Greg? I think it's for optics. It's so you can look good and feel good. If you look at, an Epic that you keep adding stuff to it, adding feature, adding skill, which is okay, right? We want to create new stuff and find new ways of using something we created before. Saves us time and money. Hey, we created this screen. It'd be nice if we could just add this one little feature there and add more value to the customer without creating a whole new screen. Just take what we did and add something to it. And that is very agile in thought process. So from an optic perspective, don't carry that original start date for those Epics in your backlog. If you start releasing code and putting in a release, putting in a product for the customer to use or stakeholders to test or find out what they give you feedback loops, start cutting off the old stuff, create new Epics, new features in the systems, and put the stuff that you haven't finished into the new one, right? Change it, like create a whole new, clone it, delete old stuff in the system so that it's, and you can always have a link, like the new story will always link to the old story. You can create a link in it, or by the hierarchy, the natural hierarchy of the issues and items that are in your system. And I just want to share that with you, just give you another way of looking at it. I mean, you could just keep adding stuff on it and carrying that long tail of stuff that started, but the work you're doing is nowhere even familiar related to the original work that was in the original scope of the work you wanted to do. So why drag that along and give you a bad optic saying it's taking you forever to release epics or features when it's really not? It's just how you mess and leave a mess of trailing like a slime, like a snail slime. You ever see snails or worms? They leave a little slime thing. There ain't nothing there. It's just a little slime level, but the worm's way out in front, but the slime's there, and they left little pieces of themselves probably on the way they went. Don't carry that long tail with you. Cut it off. Start a new epic. Get a fresh look. Get a fresh start date. It'll help rejuvenate the team and your stakeholders in what you do. So I wanted to share that with you today for our Thursday, where we talk about requirements, reviews, retros, and roles, right? So that's our Thursday episode. I wanted to share that with you. Just a thought. Look at your backlog. Look at your epics. Look at how the optics look. Does it look pretty? Look at those start dates, the dates created. Does it really make sense? We created this a year ago or whatever, but all the work we were working inside that thing is as fresh as of 3 months ago or 2 months ago, or maybe last sprint. I don't know. Does it make sense to keep that longer epic with that longer creation date if all the work that you're currently working on was created in the past couple sprints? No, it doesn't. So I wanted to share that with you. Hope that helps with your epics. I hope it helps with your positiveness about what you're doing. And I wish you all the best. With that, happy scrumming. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to definitely do the train thing on Fun Friday and give you a little example of agile approach to delivering product and using it based on what I have in my trains in my basement. With that, have a great day and see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye.